Welcome back to the Jon Mendola Show here. It's 10:21 at WILK. Not a bad day today, so enjoy. Hey, we're getting a little deeper into February, getting a little closer to spring, so keep that head up. Well, we got a new sheriff in town, so to speak, for the Wilkes University Colonels, and Jon Drach, the new head coach, joining us right now on the phone. And John, welcome in.
Thanks so much, John. I appreciate it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about why Wilkes and how it all worked out for you. You've been a long-time assistant there at Hobart, so tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been up at Hobart now for the last 11 years and been the offensive coordinator here for the last 3 years, and we've had a lot of success up here. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of that type of program and really kind of mentor young men. And we're a high academic school at Hobart and William Smith colleges, and I think it was a good fit for me to come down to Wilkes because that was something that was very, very made evident to me throughout the process, is that they wanted to be focused on their students' academics, and they wanted to be really, really outcome-driven as far as the opportunities and the results that our students are getting after graduation. And that was something for me that's always been really, really important. I mean, I played Division I football, and I've been at a scholarship school and some of those types of things, but I really like working with high-level students that want to go on to be successful after graduation in other fields than besides football. You know, I mean, I think we get kids that are really, really passionate about playing football in college, and they're not collecting a check to be there. They're doing it because they love the game and they love to be around it, and they do just as much work and put in just as much work as all those guys at Alabama. They're on full scholarships. They're just doing it at a little different time schedule.
Organizational skills, so important. We're going to go down a little checklist here and talk about different things that you're going to need to go. So the first thing is evaluating the team that you have. Talk about getting your feet wet there and trying to evaluate the players there at Wilkes that you currently have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have a list of about 150 things to get done in the next week. So if you guys could help with any of that, that would be an excellent pleasure. But at the same time, I mean, I think we're going to start on Monday. We have our first team meeting on Monday with the entire team. And there were a lot of guys at the press conference, and I've had a chance to meet a bunch of them throughout the interview process, which was something for me that was really helpful in deciding to come to Wilkes from Hobart, is the opportunity to actually get to meet with those guys and see that they were very driven, and obviously they weren't happy with the way that the results had gone for them the past couple of years, and I think they're very driven to do some things a little differently, and that was something I was really, really excited about. So we'll have our first team meeting on Monday, and then I'll sit down with each of those guys individually over the next couple of days and really kind of pick their brain and see where they're at as far as their experience, as far as, you know, their want to and their drive to be successful academically, and as far as the football field goes. So I'm really looking forward to that over the next couple of days, and then we get right into spring ball, and then I really get a real evaluation as far as athletic talent and want to and drive goes as well. And I'm looking forward to those things over the next couple of months.
Big thing is recruiting, and you know, you're in February now, so that class coming in the fall, you're in a tough spot there. Talk about what you're going to try to do as soon as you could to lure a couple guys in.
Absolutely. So, I mean, over the last couple of weeks, the staff that's there has done a great job of maintaining relationships and recruiting guys, and Dave and Mike and all those guys have done a tremendous job, and they've had guys on campus every weekend and Tripp and everybody, and I think they've had almost 20 to 30 guys on campus per weekend since the beginning of February and January and the end of January. So those guys have been doing a great job of getting guys up, and I've had an opportunity over the last week and a half to really call a bunch of those guys and kind of reach out to them and obviously let them know what my vision of Wilkes football is, and obviously what I'm going to bring to the table, and hopefully we can get some of those local guys. But then I also have some guys that I've been recruiting from Hobart that I'm hoping to kind of flip over and get some of those guys interested a little bit in Wilkes over the next couple of months, and also be going down to Florida, which will be, I think, maybe the first time that Wilkes has kind of gone and done that before. I'll be leaving next Friday and taking off, heading down to Florida for some recruiting fairs down there, and hopefully grab a few guys from there and put together a good class, and then really start to work on some of those juniors and sophomores as we move forward.
We're talking with Jon Drach, the new head football coach at Wilkes University. Coach, you talk about the conference, and that's a whole I guess, philosophy. You're going to have to figure out what this team does this team does that. But, boy, there's a lot of talent in a lot of these schools. You go Del Val or Albright or what Stevenson's done in just a couple of short years. People say, hey, Stevenson's kind of like a 1AA with the type of players that they attract.
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, the competition, if you win this conference, you can go really, really deep in the playoffs. And that was actually one of the drawing factors to me to be able to come here. I think that to be able to play competition on a really high level week in and week out only makes you better as a program, and only gives you that much more opportunity to be successful on a national landscape. I know Del Val had the opportunity to go play Brockport, who actually we opened up with at Hobart this past year. So that was kind of a common opponent, and I got to watch that game in the playoffs, and they did a great job, and Brockport kind of jumped on them early, and then Del Val kind of fought back and made it a really good game there at the end of that football game. But to play that competition on a continual basis is going to be something for me that maybe isn't as what I'm used to here at Hobart. I think we had 2 or 3 teams at the top of our conference, but some of the other teams were probably a little bit lower, where I don't think there's an off week in the MAC. You got to come and you got to pack it up every day and make sure that you're ready to go. And we've had a lot of success against some of those top programs. I mean, against Del Val, it was a 5-point game with 5 minutes left in that game. Against Albright, we were winning with, I think, 15 seconds left last year. It's just for us, it's going to be playing consistent throughout the course of the season and really giving some level of discipline for our guys to make sure that there's not fluctuation in our effort between when we're playing some of the top teams in the conference and the bottom teams in the conference.
You come from a coaching family. Talk a little bit about your background as a coach and having that kind of burning desire ever since you're a little kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad has been a high school coach in Illinois for 40-plus years, and he's definitely been a huge mentor to myself. And between my mother and my father, they've always been really, really hardworking people, and it's something that I got a lot from both of them. Since I've grown up, I've been around football, and it's something for me that I kind of got out of it for those 2 years after graduation when I was trading, and then I was going out to coach with my dad in the afternoons and trading in the mornings, and I just found that my passion was there. You know what I mean? I think that was something both my parents always really, really stressed to me is go do what you want to do. So I don't ever go to work anymore. You know what I mean? I go and do something I love to do every day. And I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm excited to go to work. And it's not something that I think a lot of people have that opportunity to do, but I'm definitely very fortunate to have that. And having a father that I can bounce ideas off of and ask questions to, and somebody that's had that level of experience for that level of time is obviously a huge benefit to me, because if there's ever a decision or anything, I mean, I can definitely lean on those people, and they help me out quite a bit. So as I move into the head coaching position now, I know he's been sending me emails every day, and I've had an opportunity to talk to him almost every day and ask questions. And if I ever need anything, he's always going to be right there for me, and that's definitely a real blessing to have for sure.
Any chance you could get Dad to retire the high school thing and come join you on the staff?
Well, he is actually retired, so at this point, we've had those conversations a couple of times now, so we'll see if I can't lure him out. I think I already told him he's got the itch a little bit just over the last couple of weeks, and I definitely think he does. So maybe that's something that we could work on maybe next year or maybe a little bit in the future for sure.
Sounds great. 200 applicants you hear all the time, and that these, NCAA Division III, Division II, it doesn't matter, but they're getting 200 applicants. You're the guy. You're the guy. They hone it down to 4 or 5 guys. You're the guy they pick. Talk about the feelings of saying, hey, man, they selected me. They believed in me, and now I got to go out and prove it.
Absolutely. I mean, they put a lot in me, and they put a lot in my family, and my family put a lot in me too. For us to be able to make this move, my wife is obviously giving up a job here where she has her master's in sports and recreation, and she has a really, really great job in the city of Geneva, being the recreational director here and working for the city. And so we're putting a lot of eggs in this basket, and it's something that, we know, and they're going to give us the resources to be successful and do what we need to do to be successful. And with the renovations on campus and the renovations of the athletic facilities that are planned within the next 2 years, I mean, there's just so much going on at Wilkes. It's such a dynamic institution, and someplace that's going to be a really, really fun place to be with my young family. And I know we're really, really excited about that opportunity. I know I've always kind of faced everything as a competition. That's one of the things growing up as a coach's kid is you don't lose at anything. You start winning and losing when you're a little kid in the basketball court on the driveway with Dad. So I don't like to lose at a lot of things, and that's something that I've carried over with me in every aspect of my life. And so competition is always something that I've kind of flourished on, and I think that being able to compete against other coaches for that position, but then also putting myself in a position now to kind of pass it along to some of these young students and definitely build that level of competition in them and that fire and that drive in them on a daily basis to go out and do the things you need to win. Because winning is not an easy thing. Winning just does not happen. And it's going to be something for us that is going to be a process, and we have to be process-driven to get it. But at the same time, you got to kind of be passionate about that every day. If you lose that, you're going to lose the drive to do the things you need to do to win. So it's something for me. I hope we can bring that here and definitely start to kind of build that day in and day out.
Well, Jon Drach, get you on campus Monday. You'll be ready to go, and by next Saturday, you'll probably be taking in your first Wilkes University home game there at the Mart Center, because that'll be a nice atmosphere next Saturday when the Colonels close out the season. They got a big one today against Misericordia. So, Coach, we appreciate your time, and we wish you the best, and have a good, safe move there with the family.
Thank you so much. Wish Coach Metz the best of luck today, and going forward in the future. He's a good personal friend of mine. He actually is one of the reasons that I probably had that opportunity to be able to come down there, because he's actually a Hobart alum himself, and I've had a chance to work with him here at Hobart for about 4 or 5 years before he moved on to Boston College and down to Wilkes, and I'm excited to watch those guys play, and I'm excited to see those guys be in first place, and hopefully we're going to be quick to follow, that's for sure.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time today.
Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
All right, Jon Drach, the head coach there at Wilkes University. Brand new football coach. He is ready to go, that's for sure. It's 10:32 here at WILK. When we come back, high school basketball. Mike Joseph from Hazleton area is going to join us. Let's take a time out now. Let's join our local State Farm insurance agent, Jeremy Baczynski. Break. Like a good neighbor, Jeremy Baczynski is there. We'll be back at WILK.